Jeremy Swayman just had his worst performance of the season last night against the Red Wings, got pulled. Bruins lost big. And I think it's the perfect time to mention that he's actually having an awesome season. Jeremy Swayman has been incredible. And a quarter of the way through the year, more than that, he is absolutely in the Vezina discussion right now. And we said coming into this season, you needed a bounce back year from Jeremy Swayman in a big way to even be a little bit competitive. And you have gotten that. I know it was a bad night last night, but that pales in comparison to how friggin' good he has been this year and really the last month or so. How about this? Going into the game last night, he leads the NHL in 19.4 goals save above expected. What that means is those shots that are supposed to go in, he's not letting them go in. Better than anybody in the league. And that is the number we kept harping on last year. That's the stat. Goal save above expected. Because for reference, last year, it was negative 12.6. It was the third worst among starting goalies in the NHL. The 2 years before that, it was 15 plus both years. And when he had that great postseason in 2024, only for 2 rounds, he led the playoffs in goal save above expected. The whole playoffs. He's got the top WAR, wins above replacement, of any goalie in the league, and he's second in goals against average above expected. And if you want the regular stats, how about this? .915 save percentage and a 2.62 goals against average. That's pretty freaking good as well. He has given you a chance to win every time he goes out there. Last night wasn't great. It wasn't all his fault, but it was not a great night. It was the worst night he's had of the whole year. Other than that, he has been nails for you. And he's a huge reason, probably the biggest reason, that you were in second place in the Atlantic Division last night. Albeit the teams behind you have games in hand. But the only reason you look close to a playoff team right now, especially when you look at those under-the-hood stats in 5-on-5, is because of number one. Jeremy Swayman's been the guy. And I'm seeing these Bruins fans bitching on social media last night about how bad Swayman was. I'm like, yeah, he wasn't good. But I'm seeing guys saying, oh, they'll never even get close to a cup when Swayman's their goalie. It's the same shit we heard with Tuukka. Same shit. The game is about more than a goalie. Sorry, Jack Parker. I know you said if they had to rename hockey, it would be named goalie. But we almost get in this funk since 2011 when Tim Thomas was so freaking good, like literally had the best postseason of any goalie ever. And it was the only time in any of our lifetimes that the Bruins won the Stanley Cup. But you need more than a goalie. You can get to the playoffs on the back of a goalie, and the Bruins might well do that this year. But you need so much more than that to win in the postseason. And the Bruins haven't really recognized that in the last 15 years. Try as they might have. They haven't really realized that. Because what was the problem in those late 2010s, early 2020s teams that were making the playoffs every year and were loaded most years, being, top 2 or 3 seed, the problem wasn't the goaltending. The problem wasn't even the defense. The problem every freaking year was depth scoring. Every year it was that. You had a dynamite first line and nothing past that. The only years you did have anything past that was 2019 when you actually made the Stanley Cup final, and 2023 when you set the wins and points record. It all fell apart in that first playoff series, and ironically enough, a lot of it was goaltending from Linus Ullmark after winning the Vezina. But you look at those teams for years and years, goaltending was not the problem. And so that all comes to people saying now, like, oh, you can't win with Swayman. Bitch, you're winning because of Swayman. Like, he's a legit Vezina candidate right now. It's him and Spencer Knight are the 2 guys for the Vezina. And here's a crazy scenario. Could Jeremy Swayman be Team USA's number 1 goalie at the Olympics in Milan? The answer is yes. He absolutely could be. Right now, if it started just on paper, he'd be the number 2. But right now, if it started in real life, he would be the starter. Connor Hellebuyck's hurt. He's out till January. Who knows what kind of rhythm he's going to be in? when it comes to early to mid-February when they have to set off to Italy and play in the Olympics. You talk about riding a hot hand, you might have to go to Swayman. Ottinger's been good. He hasn't been great Ottinger level. Maybe he does turn that around by the time February hits. And the other option would be Spencer Knight. And Spencer Knight, if you want to go with the hot hand, is as hot as anybody. But Swayman is locking it down right now. And what's most impressive about his season this year is he's doing it by himself. And by that, I mean, you look at the Bruins and all the injuries they've gone through this year. No McAvoy or Pastrnak in the lineup right now. No bueno. Not ideal at all. But you have had injuries up and down the lineup. And the only stability you've really had have been Morgan Geekie in the goal scoring and Jeremy Swayman and keeping the goals out. You know, that's been it. That's been your stability. You can go out there, 9 out of 10 nights that Jeremy Swayman's starting and saying he's gonna shut them down and we're gonna be in this game because he's out there. That has been crucial for the Bruins and what has been an up and down season so far. The other part, aside from the injuries, is how dog shit his backup is. When you look at goal save above expected in the league, there is no bigger gap between a team's starter and backup than the Boston Bruins, than between Jeremy Swayman and Jonas Korpisalo. Korpisalo sucks. And we knew that. Ben knew that. We knew that when they traded for him and took on that $3 million cap hit. He's 20 expected goals worse than Swayman. He's a goal per game worse than Jeremy Swayman. And he just makes weird-looking saves sometimes, and it makes himself look better than what he actually is. And in his 10 starts this season, Jonas Korpisalo has given up a goal on the first 3 shots of the game in 7 of them. So every night he goes out there, you're going to be behind. Just know it. Within the first 5 or 6 minutes, you are going to be losing. Jeremy Swayman's not that way. So look, was it annoying last year when he had his worst year of his career in the first year of that contract and the whole back and forth and the holdout? Yeah, it was wicked annoying. And it seems like he might annoy some of his teammates here. He kind of looks like that kind of guy, the way he acts and carries himself. But he's finally living up to that contract, and we should be celebrating it. Instead, Bruins fans are just waiting to pounce to say, man, boy, did he suck last night. Boy, you can't win anything with him. You are winning anything this year because of him, especially with Pastrnak out. Right now, if they did a finalist for the Vezina Trophy, and I know they don't in December, but if they did, he'd be in the final 3 without question. So the Bruins will need that if they want to make a playoff push. Or else you got to start playing Korpisalo more if you're trying to tank. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're looking for more exclusive Bruins content, myself and Dan Conlon, Garden Level Pod, check that out. It's also part of the Rogue Media Network here, so I can plug it on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. It is your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio. It's right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart.